Hey there, this is Frank Gray with Vyral Marketing, and if you're watching this video, you're interested, very likely, I hope, because that's what the video is about, is recruiting agents to your team of brokerage. In this case, you're going to meet Frank Gray today in Houston, who used our recruiting course as a Vyral Marketing client, this recruiting project we put together to recruit agents to his brokerage throughout Houston, and added quite a few number of agents. Frank, since you started the course with us till now, how many new agents have you brought into your brokerage?
I would be about 85.
85. Good for you, man. So I want to get the story today about why you paid money for this, why you enrolled in this, what benefit you got out of this, and make it as educational as possible so people can learn some stuff through the process of like what you did actually work. So take me back to when you first heard about Vyral and myself teaching this six month course to like implement a recruiting system. What point of your business, what point of your life you're in when you heard that? Let's start there.
Well, I'd been a fan for a long time. I'd seen your
Thanks.
agent interviews on YouTube and was a big admirer of your program and your coaching style. I started my brand new company in November, which was just 2 months before the recruiting program launched. And so when I heard that you were going to be doing that, I just thought the timing was perfect. I had never been a Vyral client before then, but I saw that as my opportunity to get involved under your supervision.
Yeah, because we started in January and you just launched in November.
In November, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very early on for me.
Okay. So you saw this, and why did you want, there's lots of people out there offering, I'll help you with recruiting.
Yes.
Why us?
Well, I had been one of those people offering recruiting. I've coached people on recruiting all over the world. So I was pretty familiar with what goes on in that world, and it's all pretty much the same stuff. You get your database, you send a postcard, you make a phone call, have an event, that type thing. And I knew that I wanted to accelerate my success beyond what all the normal means could accomplish. And I had observed, just by being a fan and a viewer of your videos for several years, that you take a very different approach. It's very technologically oriented and very video oriented. And so I just thought if I wanted different results, I needed to take a different approach.
Cool. All right. So you signed up for this course I put together. Tell me overall, what makes this course different than other things out there other than just maybe video? What stood out as something very unique, maybe how this was put together, how it was structured, the material versus other ways of going about different philosophies or methods of implementing a recruiting plan?
Sure. Well, almost all of it was new to me. So like every time we met and had another conversation with our mentor group, I was hearing new things. Everything from placing an ad on a job board, an online job board, which I never would have considered doing, to the email strategy that you employ, sending out, original emails in mass to your recruiting list. It was just a whole different spin. In fact, I don't think we actually covered anything in the course that was any part of what I have done in the past in regard to recruiting. It was just an entirely new, fresh approach.
Cool. And because the whole idea was to attract agents to you than you having to go chase them.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So in the first section of the course, we basically set the strategy where you have to deem yourself as like the preeminent trainer and leader of agents in Houston.
Yes.
And then you need to go out and basically you need to write an offer of why someone should come work for your brokerage. And we write that down. And then we basically email all of your past clients and centers of influence and buyers and sellers about who might be interested in coming to work for you. And then we also put up on some of the job boards to get some fast results, some low-hanging fruit before we get in like all the videos and interviews and training events to like existing agents. What results did you have in that first section of the course when it came to the job boards and emailing your house list about your primary offer to come work at your brokerage?
Yes, so that actually has been a core part of my strategy ever since, particularly the letter, which you call the offer.
Mm-hmm.
In my language, I call it the letter from the heart, where I kind of tell the story and then outline the value and issues.
Which is the best way to present an offer, but yes.
Yeah. So I've now put it in my email signature. I have a video version of that link in my email signature as well. I broadcast that out repeatedly. And what it's done is caused my phone to ring as people are exposed to that. And I'll give you a quick story behind that. A couple weeks ago, a competing real estate broker who opened her brokerage 2 years ago in my market and has grown to 65 agents, which is very solid growth in 2 years. She wanted to take me out for a cup of coffee and find out what I was doing to grow so quickly. And at one point in the conversation, she said, "Don't you just hate cold calling agents?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't cold call agents."
This is good.
She said, Are you kidding? I said, "No." I said, "I do outreach. It might be more aligned with marketing. We send out these video emails and I send out this, the offer, the letter from the heart as often as I can. But the agents are calling me, or my agents are bringing other agents along. But in 8 months, I haven't made a single cold call to an agent personally." So she was pretty flabbergasted. And then she admitted, "Well, gosh, when I make my calls, it doesn't work. Nobody wants to talk to me. And when they do, they don't come in for the appointment." So she, again, was following a very traditional recruiting approach. It was the kind of thing that I did in the past and I coached others to do in the past. Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't work like it used to.
So what changes did you, for your whole professional life, you looked at one way of recruiting?
Yes.
And I show you like a whole different philosophy, religion, if you will, methodology, belief structure of how this can be done through marketing. What challenges do you have to break through to do this well? I mean, or maybe how did you have to change what challenges, what limiting beliefs to go down this path with me?
Well, one of the biggest mindset shifts that I've had to make is to really focus on value that I'm providing to my existing agents. And you made that point very powerfully early on in the course. And it may have been when we were writing our offer, and we were all writing for some hypothetical agent that we want to join our brokerage someday. And you said, "No, write for your existing agents. Get in touch with their needs and their aspirations and their desires and write to them, write for them, create content for them, create value for them." And that's what's going to be appealing to everybody else. And so I've totally changed my perspective. I'm not looking to attract people out there. I'm trying to serve people here, because the people who are here, if their needs are being met, that's the same needs the people out there have.
And it also attracts this, I want to cover this because that's important. You said that is when you start publishing educational content, you think, "Oh, I'm just going to put this out to the marketplace." And you have this vague idea of like the typical agent you're reaching out to.
Yes.
I'm like, no. Let's create your content for your existing agents. Like almost where the iPad test, where you can put your videos on iPad out your door. Yes. And the videos would answer people's questions that you'd be interrupted for your existing agents. And let's take that and get it out. And that will naturally attract more people like your existing agents.
Yes, exactly. So I don't see myself now as a recruiting salesperson at all. I see myself as a person who's serving my agents at a high level. And then we just kind of share that. We let others peek in on what we're doing. But it keeps my focus where it ought to be, instead of trying to create this image of something else to appeal to a hypothetical agent somewhere out there.
That's great. So throughout the course, what was the most challenging lesson or the most challenging part for you to execute on or get behind? What was most difficult?
Okay, the piece I'm still struggling with is the outbound email assistant.
Ooh, yeah, I love the outbound email assistant. Tell us the outbound email assistant. What is that designed to do?
So it's designed to reach a very large number of agents, or in my case, I have a target database of about 10,000 agents.
Yep.
And we set it up where they would all receive an individualized email message about once a month. So I would touch them about once a quarter, 4 times a year, with the outbound email assistant in place. And the purpose of the emails is to get them to go to my YouTube channel or to my video blog, or to check out a training video of something that
now,
we've
this
done.
I want to be clear to the audience here. This isn't just some blast spam email out to 10,000 agents. This is you literally hiring, someone from home for 2 to 3 hours a day, just to send a one-to-one personal email through Gmail 10,000 times with something, some light, non-spammy hook to maybe come like your Facebook page or to watch a video. It's your assistant reaching out on your behalf to pass along something of value.
Yes. So I'm very excited about it, but I have yet to implement it. And that's why it has been my greatest challenge. In fact, I'm looking over your shoulder here at my whiteboard, and its messaging assistant is in big red letters because I'm determined to implement that plank in the recruiting strategy, but I just haven't worked through the pieces yet.
So my list at Vyral is about 4,000.
Okay.
I have two part-time assistants. They both work about 2 hours a day. They're both stay-at-home moms. And they each message 100 people a day. So total between the two, there's 200 single outbound emails going out from my assistant, which if you do the math times 5,000 a week, 4,000 a month, all 4,000 people get a nice little monthly little touch.
Yes.
That sparks about 5, 7, 8 conversations a day with replies we get. That starts conversations.
Yes. That's why I want to do it.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So that was the most challenging aspect. What would you say is what was the most exciting or one of the highlights of the course for you?
I would say a couple things. One is the business planning workshop. I was very excited about that because I've always taken an educational approach to reaching other agents. As part of the value that we provide is to train and coach and mentor agents. And so we put together our business planning workshop as you instructed us to do. And I've taught it several times. I have even gotten our state real estate commission to grant 3 hours of CE credit for it.
Yep.
And I now have 4 agents from my office who are teaching that business planning workshop every week. Every week, at least one of them is teaching it somewhere in our real estate market area. Wow.
Okay. We need to step back here.
Yeah.
Because this is a big idea.
Yes.
You see, what we decided to do was the steps of the course were to basically start an agent training newsletter with educational videos and use Facebook and outbound messaging to get it out to local agents. That's how people got to know you.
Right.
And from there, we invite them to a very standardized, scripted, like you cry on demand at minute 39. Would you tell that specific story? A very scripted 3-hour, I help you write a business plan, right?
Yes.
And then from there, you get the one-on-one meeting, and then to come, they talk about joining your team. Now, when I shared the idea, what most people do wrong with a lot of, or not optimally, not necessarily wrong, is all these random trainings. It's random, confused messaging and just a randomness. Where I said, let's create a standardized event that you can repeat and script over and over and over and over. And the event is the exact same thing. And to blow everyone's minds, I was like, someday you could hire instructors to teach the material that you create.
Right.
And you already did that in 8 months.
I didn't have to hire them because they're my own agents.
They're your own agents.
And
so you already have instructors teaching the material for the workshop you created?
I had 12 who signed up who said they wanted to do this, and I have 4 who've actually committed to mastery the material and have been released to do this and are actually doing it.
That's great. How does that feel?
So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I actually call them now certified mentors.
Yeah.
In our proprietary agent training program. So that gives them some additional credibility, even with their own buyer or seller clients, to say that they're a certified mentor in the highest levels of real estate education. So it's a win-win-win. And as agents come into the company through those workshops, the mentor, the workshop leader, becomes their mentor, their assigned mentor within our company. So now I'm not having to take all the phone calls. As these new agents come in, they're not all looking to me as the broker to be their first line contact. I'm a little bit further up the food chain and insulated.
Yeah, from all the questions all the time when they actually come on the team.
Right. Yeah. So it works at many, many different levels.
Well, let's talk about the actual agents coming on the team. So one of the objections or one of the concerns people say is, well, I'm going to recruit these agents, but then they're all not going to produce. They're all not going to sell any real estate.
Right.
So you have 87 people.
No, I have 101 now, but 85 have come in since we started our program.
Okay. So you have 101 total, and you have 85 new agents from the program, right? Now, correct. We all know a percentage of them, like in any population, you'll have the top people, and it kind of goes down with production level. But, you know, are they productive? Are they selling real estate? Okay. Is this making you money?
It is, but it's all across the board.
Yeah.
So probably 30% of the agents I've hired are either new or very inexperienced agents. I also have top team leaders. In fact, one of my agents was just recognized as the #1 social media real estate agent in the state of Texas. So I cover the gamut. But here, is
she impressed with what you're doing for recruiting?
It's a he.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think you said her. My bad. He.
And yeah, we kind of have a mutual admiration society. We goad each other on. So
yeah.
But I actually ran my numbers last week because we've grown to the point that we have to buy a building now. And I put one under contract last week. But in preparing the documents for the banker, I had to look at all of our profit and loss and productivity. And what I discovered is that our productivity is much lower than what I had anticipated it would be. I'm looking for about a target of 12 average transactions per agent per year, or 2.5 million in average production. And if you do that with a large number of agents, that's highly profitable. Well, we're not there.
Well, why don't you share, because you're on like a high split type brokerage, like a 90-10 or 80-20 or something like that.
Yes, it is a 90-10 with a $100 transaction fee.
So you have a different model. So just for anyone watching this, if you're building a team, you know, you probably aren't going to get 87 agents on your team this quickly.
Exactly. Mine is more stack them high and sell them low.
Correct.
So going for a volume approach. But what I discovered is that even though a lot of these newer agents aren't productive yet, or even highly productive agents that I've hired, I don't start seeing revenue for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
The pendings are closing at their former broker.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, the average revenue per agent I'm getting, even with those caveats in place, is about $250 a month per agent. Now that seems insanely low. How could you make money on that? But translated to 100 agents, that's 25 grand a month of gross revenue with no staff and no office, and my certified mentors doing the coaching within the company. So the truth is, we are making very good money. We're highly profitable. And within 6 months, we should be at 200 agents. Our gross at current levels would be over $50,000 a month. But by then, the productivity that we're working on boosting within our agents, all the training that we're doing and the mentoring, should double or triple our current production levels. So I think within a year, we're going to have one of the most profitable real estate companies anywhere.
That's great. It's all virtual, right? Well, you'll get your office coming, but a lot of your stuff you're doing is, yeah.
Well, I put an office under contract last week. We're going to remodel it. Won't move in for several months, but we're in the Houston metro area, which is about 80 miles end to end geographically. And this is just one office in one part. So right now at 101 agents, I would say 50 agents are too far away to take advantage of that building. And we'll probably always have, 50 to 75% who are not really going to the office on a regular basis. So yes, primarily operating virtually.
So one of the things that we cover in the course, I'd like to get more of your feedback on if you've done it yet, is it's very possible with the audience of agents that you're building and the agents in your office to raise some sponsor money to help offset some of the costs of this. Like, see, for example, if you were to go hire a recruiter and pay him, say, 50 grand a year, let's say, you're not going to find somebody to help pay their salary necessarily. However, when you start publishing content, like your newsletter, your blog, your training events, it's much easier to find some sponsors for that, right? So one of the things we talk in the course is maybe find figure out what the annual expenses are for your the whole enchilada of your recruiting training plan.
Yes.
Divide it in two, and then charge one annual sponsor, like a title company, one annual sponsor to a mortgage company, whatever.
Yes.
And they're sponsoring, they're not buying, mortgage referral leads of buyers and sellers for like RESP issues. They're sponsoring a coaching and training company.
Yes, absolutely.
That is referring agents basically to your brokerage in many respects. So have you made some progress with that at all? Anything you can share with us about maybe raising some money to help offset your costs?
Yeah, I wish I could. I can't.
It's okay.
That's another one of those to be implemented. But I'll tell you why that's critically important with this building. I'm hoping to sublease office spaces to mortgage title inspectors and help pay the mortgage. And they're all telling me I can't pay much in rent because of RESPA concerns, et cetera, et cetera. So even with subleasing, I'm not going to be able to generate the revenue from vendor partners that I want. And so I've been reminded over the last 2 weeks how important it is to implement that aspect of the strategy so that you can generate marketing dollars
Yeah.
are not subject to RESPA concerns.
Yeah, because they're getting in front of other agents.
Yes.
That's what they're paying for the access for.
That's right. So no, to be implemented.
Got it. Well, there's only so many hours a day. I get it, Frank. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, we got to it. It's okay. Are there any other highlights of the course? Give me one more highlight. So you really liked what we talked about driving people to the real in-world, actual physical in an office training standardized event.
Yes, correct.
Was there anything else in that course that stood out that you really enjoyed?
Well, the biggest surprise was the job boards.
Interesting. Tell me about that, because there were a lot of limiting beliefs on those.
Yeah, well, I had those limiting beliefs. I really thought it was a waste of money, but I was going to cooperate because I'd committed to the program and I was going to do it.
And I only asked for, what, $50 for a month on Indeed?
Right. And I put 150 in.
All right.
And I've continued that ever since. And I think we started that probably in February. And I expected only new licensees to pop up on there, or people who didn't even have a license who were interested in real estate. And in fact, I have hired some of both of those. New licensees, those who didn't have a license but were interested and have since gotten a license and joined me. The big surprise was the number of experienced, productive agents that posted their resume and expressed interest in our job posting.
Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. I would never, as an agent, I would never have gone to a generic job board to look for other broker opportunities. But apparently there's some out there who do.
And they were drawn to the offer letter, the sales letter.
That's exactly right.
I use marketing speak, the job description,
right.
whatever.
Yes. But that's what
they
they
always do.
Because I always ask them, there's many ads on this board, many real estate companies. Why did you choose us?
Oh my goodness. I mean, let's find out how many there are. I just have to know. Let's find out. Then I'm going to show the audience the site we put together.
Sure.
Let's have some fun. What do we got here? Real estate agent, Houston.
So I have ended up hiring 3 to 4 agents.
205 postings.
Yeah.
But people still applied here because you were doing the sponsored one at the top like this, right?
I don't even know how mine shows up. I don't know how the public sees it. I just get notified when somebody applies for the job, and I open up and look at their resume and their cover letter.
Oh, here's Tim Hiles.
Yeah, I saw that. Advertising in Houston.
Hey, agent splits as high as 90%.
There you go.
Great. So you actually got some good applicants from this. That's great news. What's your website again, Frank? You're the one we built for you.
InsideAbbyRealty.com.
There we go. Join our team, free strategy call, come to your business planning workshop, your real estate workshop, which is one standardized event, which I love, your newsletter. What do you like about this site? How does this work well for you?
Well, I like it because it is a single purpose site, which is to tell the message of our company and allow people little snippets of kind of test driving what we're all about. They're able to actually see the videos where I'm teaching for 2 or 3 minutes on a specific topic, and then they can just scroll right through the topics. So if somebody's not familiar with me or with our company, I can send them to this site, and within 5 or 10 minutes, they're going to have a very good sense of what we're about. And if they want to go further, it gives them multiple opportunities to connect with all of these links.
This is great. Cool. What is someone, how did you, let me ask you this. How did you know that you had the time and the emotional energy, if you will, and the mental resources to commit to this program? How did you know you were ready to do this?
Well, I knew I had to do something. For me, it was, one of those survival decisions, because it was a brand new company I had just started, and I had no building. I had no brand name behind me. I've only been in this market myself for 5 years. I knew that I had to do something big to kind of break out of the hundreds of real estate brokerages that start every year, and most of them flame out. You never hear about them, or they never break beyond 10, 12, 15 agents. And I knew I wanted to go big fast. And so from day one, I knew it would be a lot. I didn't know that I could do everything, but I was committed to devoting a significant amount of resources, time, money, and energy to implementing it, because I had to.
I mean, 87 agents. So you want an 87 recruit? I mean, what's your conversion rate on a recruiting appointment? Do you know?
90% plus. Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's very, very rare.
90%?
It's better than 90%.
Better than 90%.
It's better, yeah.
Okay. I don't believe it. You got to tell me 90% is an incredibly high close rate. So an agent meets with you, but remember, they're coming in from your training. They're coming in through your videos. So they already know what's up, and they're pre-qualified.
They've been to the website, they've read the offer letter, they've been to our YouTube channel, and a lot of them have come recommended by our current agents or vendor partners.
Talk about that.
And so in many ways, they're pre-sold when we show up, or when we get together to talk.
Someone's trying to reach you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I turned it off. I don't know why it keeps ringing. It's coming through the computer. Sorry about that.
No, 90% close rate in recruiting appointments, and they're pre-sold on you, huh?
Yes. Let me just say, it is extremely rare that I meet with somebody and they don't join us. I just count on it. If I meet with them within 7 to 10 days, we're transferring their license.
Wow. Do you know how hard that would be by cold calling without any of this?
Oh, yeah. It'd be hard to get the appointment, and then hard to close them even after they showed up.
Because I'm assuming these people have attended your training event. They've watched your videos. I mean, there's an affinity to you already.
So Agent 101 that we just hired this morning,
mm-hmm.
It was her husband who attended one of our training events. He's an independent broker who he's not active. He just wanted to get some CE credit.
Mm-hmm.
But his wife is a full-time 25-year real estate veteran, and he told her back in March, you need to check out this company. So she called me last week. She called me, said, I want to meet with you. We got together, and I said, how did you hear about me? She told me the story. Her husband attended one of our training events. He recommended she contact me, and so she was completely pre-sold. Even when I took her to Inside Abby Realty, I took her to our YouTube channel, she had already been there. When I went over to the compensation plan, she opened her notebook. She already had it written down.
I mean, how much trust? I mean, let's take a look at, because in your sales message,
yes,
it's all there.
One of our videos was
you read everything.
Yes.
But Frank, isn't this too long? No one's going to read it?
I have this conversation with my agents all the time, and I quote you when I do, that we write for the interested.
Yeah, you write for the interested.
Yeah, we don't care about everybody who won't read it.
Oh, you quote me. Frank Klesett says.
That's right. I do.
That's good. Yeah, you write for these. Someone's going to join your office is making a dramatic life change. They're going to read it.
They will. They care. Yes.
Yeah.
So I transition that to agents is your buyer and seller prospects. If they're contemplating a real estate transaction, they will read your long letter.
Yeah, they will.
Just as prospective agents read mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Well, What do you say to a real estate agent that either runs a team or a brokerage? What do they need to know to be successful going through this like you've gone through it with me and to get
Sure.
some of the similar results?
Well, you cannot sound like everybody else out there, and you can't do the same things that everybody else does out there, because there's a lot of people competing for the same agent pool. Agents are receiving recruiting messages from every different direction, and you can't just be one of the crowd. You have to break through with a very fresh approach technologically and a fresh message. And what I learned in this recruiting mentor group allowed me to do both of those.
What's your fresh message?
The fresh message is, we care about agents. We're not even so concerned about buyers and sellers, that this company is entirely focused on the well-being and the aspirations, the needs, wants, and desires of real estate agents. And that comes through in everything we do, in the videos on our video blog, in my offer letter. Everything is completely agent-centric. And that includes our compensation plan, which is a huge part of it. And that's one way we validate the fact that we're agent-centric. And so agents are used to hearing, we can help you grow your career, but of course you're going to pay us a fortune, you're going to give us most of your commissions, you're going to do all this. And if you can say, hey, we care about you, we're here for you, without you, we don't exist, our whole reason for being is to serve you, it's a very compelling message to real estate agents.
Cool.
And apparently they're not hearing it from anybody else, because
they may have it, but they aren't doing a good job marketing it, and you certainly are. Yeah. Wait till you get those outbound messaging assistants emailing 10,000 agents.
Yeah, that's it. You have to have the message, but then you have to get it out.
Because you could scale a message, you can't scale a relationship.
I've heard somebody else say. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I used a quote the other day, but I quoted Socrates. They thought it was Frank. I was like, no, this is Socrates, because it's the question that enlightens, not the answer, Frank. Yeah, that was way too deep for me.
It sounds
so,
very
all right, let me ask you the last question. What's next for you with this? So you've been armed with some pretty solid foundation with this course.
Yes.
A solid platform to build this. What's next for you 6-12 months out of how you plan on developing this?
Sure. Well, I'm continuing as a Vyral client. And so I'm going to continue to create fresh video content with the assistance of your staff. And that's just going to continue to go out uninterrupted.
Good.
So that's a huge piece of it.
Yep. And start interviewing agents in your office just like this. You got 87 to fish from.
That's exactly.
Or no, more than that, 100 and 101.
We've actually, I did the numbers last week. We've averaged adding an agent every 2.5 days.
Wow.
Of brokerage's existence. So literally we recruited our 100th agent last Thursday, which was our 250th day in business. So it's been a lot of fun. But I'm going to continue to do the regular video outreach to agents, implement all the other strategies I've already got in place, and then supplement with the 2 or 3 strategies that I haven't yet been able to implement, the outbound messaging assistant being first and foremost among those.
Good. Frank, thank you so much for the interview.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
But thank you. My hope was to be at 50 agents by the end of our first year. And
you blew it out of the water.
We blew it out of the water. Yeah, we were there in 4 months, and we're at 108 months. So, and we don't intend to slow down. So
that's great.
So
Thanks, Frank.
Appreciate it.